In this lesson, we're going to look at quadratic inequalities. So obviously in quadratic form, there's four possible solutions. The first one, less than 0, so below the x-axis. Less than or equal to 0 is on or below the x-axis. Greater than 0 is above, and greater than or equal to 0 is obviously on or above. So we'll look at each one of these and a couple of examples, and then you can test yourselves with a few. So it's like solving quadratics. Just factorize x minus 5 by x plus 3 equals 0. So x is equal to 5 or minus 3. So when is this, and I should have actually put in here, I'll do greater than or equal, not equals, I'll do greater than or equals first. Equals just be a quadratic that we solve. So just going to sketch here my solutions. Minus 3 and plus 5. And you know it crosses the y-axis at minus 15. Put your values on. So if it's greater than or equal to 0, my solutions have to be on or above the x-axis. So where this quadratic is greater than 0 is along this black line. So going in this direction on the x-axis. And it's also along this black line where it's going in this direction above the x-axis. So my solutions are when x is less than or equal to minus 3, and when x is greater than or equal to 5. So I have two solutions to this quadratic inequality. If it said, and we'll use the same one again, if it said x squared minus 2x minus 15 is less than or equal to 0, the sketch would be only a sketch, so it doesn't have to be to scale, but just try and have it scalish. 5 and minus 3, if scalish is a word. So less than or equal to 0 is actually in here, so we'd shade in here. This is my solution, and then we write it as x less than or equal to 5 less than or equal to minus 3. Straightforward enough. Let's look at some other examples. So same question again. Solve and sketch the inequality. So we have to be 3x times x. To get to 18 and have a product of 6 and 1. So it's going to be minus 18x plus x greater than 0. So my solutions are x is equal to minus 1 over 3 and x is equal to 6. And if we sketch this, where does it cross the y-axis? Minus 6. So minus 1 over 3. 6. May as well put our y value on, minus 6. So it has to be greater than 0. So rather than it being greater than or equal to this time, my solution is x has to be greater than 6. Obviously it's going in this direction to be above the x-axis. And on this side, x has to be less than minus 1 over 3. And these are my two solutions. If it said 3x squared minus 17x minus 6 less than 0, my solutions, just a little sketch. My solution again will be in here. We have minus a third, we have 6. So instead of writing less than or equal to, I just write less than 6. And on this side, I put in my minus a third. So straightforward enough. I'll give you two to practice now, and then you can move on to the next lesson. So pause the video and try these two. Again, we have a prime number, which is really common within these questions. 3 is prime. To get to 26, we can see it's going to be 8 by 2, 24. And 2 is 26, and they're both minuses. So x equals 2 over 3, or 8. So the sketch, it crosses positive on the y-axis, plus 16. and it goes through 2 over 3 and 8. So let me just try and get it through that point. Now these don't have to be sketched or drawn to scale because it is a sketch. Less than or equal to my solutions in here. So you can put your solution like this: 8 2/3. Straightforward enough. With this one, the only change is we just bring the 15 across. And it's greater than or equal to this time. Has to be 2x times x because it's prime. 5 by 3. 5x and 6x will give me 1x. 5 and 3. That's going to give me, we want plus x, so it has to be plus 6x minus 5x. So you can see here x is equal to 5 over 2 or minus 3. And my sketch is crosses the y-axis at minus 15, and I've got a negative 3 and a plus 2.5, so approximately symmetric. I have a minus 3. We don't have to put the minus 15 in, but good maths to do it. And 2.5. And it's greater than or equal to. So always when you're asked to sketch this solution set, put in your values. It's along here. So it's going in this direction that it's greater than, and going in this direction where it's above the x-axis. So your solutions are x has to be less than minus 3 and x has to be greater than 2.5, and it is greater than or equal to, so make sure to put those symbols in too. So a nice easy topic. Move on to the next lesson where we have what are called rational inequalities.